A man in Hyderabad who is accused in as many as 10 murder cases has now been arrested, this time for allegedly killing 4 women over the last 1 year. 42-year-old SRINU, an alleged serial killer, would target women coming to toddy shops in Hyderabad wearing jewelry, kill them and then steal their ornaments. Now, his wife, allegedly his accomplice in this case, has also been arrested. The cops cracked the case after they found a woman's body near a canal on the 17th of December. What's more shocking is that this man is accused of killing 10 others in the past. Each of those cases are under trial. He was even sentenced to life imprisonment in the year 2007, but was released in 2018 after completing his sentence. So I'm going to bring in Tanima to give us a better understanding of how this case was cracked, what exactly happened. The entire sequence of events is what Tanima is going to take us through, including the modus operandi. Tanima, we have put out the basic information, but I'm sure our viewers would like to know the larger story. What is this Hyderabad serial killer all about?
That's right, Afrida. And the interesting part, of course, is that he was out from jail after serving a jail term recently. And after that, these 4 deaths have allegedly taken place, and he has been now arrested for these 4 women's deaths. Now, let us look at the modus operandi and why he would target these women. Apparently, according to the police, the accused would target women who were coming to toddy shops in Hyderabad. They were mostly selected on the basis, if we go into the next point, they were mostly selected on the basis of the jewelry that they were wearing, and then he would actually chat them up, start talking to them, befriended them, and after taking them into his confidence, that is when he actually targeted these women, attacked them. If we go into the next point, we will also see that the accused would kill the victim and steal her ornaments. And very importantly, the police are also saying that the accused's wife was also an accomplice. She would also help him in hiding the ornaments, the jewelry that they would be stealing from these women in their house. So she has also, in fact, been arrested by the police because of her involvement in this case. But yes, the other important part, of course, is if we just take a look at another set of information graphics that we have done for our viewers on who this person is and the kind of profile that he has. This is, of course, something that the police has collated from the information about previous cases that he has been involved in the past. If you look at that set of graphics as well, this graphics actually will tell you how this person has in fact been involved in several cases. He is a 42-year-old man who has in fact been accused of killing 4 women. All 4 women were killed within 1 year. All these deaths, now it's a span of between certain months of 2018 to certain months of 2019. All these deaths have taken place within that period of 1 year. And remember that he had in fact been previously arrested for 10 other murders. 10 other murder cases that he has been allegedly involved in. He had been arrested in those cases as well. And interestingly, he was serving a life sentence for a murder which took place in 2007, if we put that point up, where he had been convicted for murdering his brother. And he had in fact been released from jail in middle of 2018, after which the police are saying that these deaths, these 4 women were killed. They were targeted for their jewelry. So this is, of course, a very, very, twisted tale of this man who had in fact been, who's now being called Hyderabad serial killer. In the recent cases, of course, his motive seems to be stealing jewelry from these women, and his wife is also an accomplice in this case. And it didn't stop him. The fact that he had just served a jail sentence and been arrested for 10 previous cases, it clearly did not prove to be a deterrent according to the police.
Right. So Paul Oommen, who's brought us, in fact, who's reported on this story, is also with us on the phone line. Tanima, stay with us. Paul, again, I want to know basically who is this person? Because clearly here is a hardened criminal, a serial murderer who was out on the loose, who finished his sentence, but got back to crime in a way that he has, that Tanima was just describing to us. Paul?
Afrida, what's interesting is that this particular man, Yerukali SRINU, was released from jail around a year ago for good behavior. And the same man now has around more than 10 cases of murder to his name. In the last 1 year, like Tanima was pointing out, 4 murders were committed by the man, all in the same modus operandi. He would go to toddy shops, befriend women who were drinking. It's very common to find women, especially in the villages of the Telugu states, drinking in toddy compounds. They are these compounds where local toddy is sold. So he would go there, he would go befriend them, set up a conversation with them, and most of the times he would tell them that he needs to get money from someone, and if the woman would help him in doing that, a percentage of whatever he had to get would go to her. And that's the way he would take them on his bike, buy them alcohol, and then sit together and drink, and then take them to a far-off area, and then finally throttle them and kill them. And that is how he managed to steal a lot of ornaments from them. So the ones he would target were the ones who were wearing silver jewelry, which is again very common to the villages of Telangana. And then he would take that jewelry, go to his wife, hand it over to her. So it was together that the wife knew everything was happening. She would keep that jewelry safe with her. So that is the, in a nutshell, the story. And
Yes, but Paul, you know, what we also would like to focus on is why does it take the police that many murders, that long to crack a case like this? How could a murder after murder, 14 of them take place by the same person? And, you know, how was this case basically cracked into? If you can give us an idea on that, please.
Well, the SP Rama Rajeshwari happened to tell us that in a very detailed way they were following him, they were tracing him, because it was around 3 to 4 months ago that this particular case came to light. And ever since, they have been closely tracking him, investigating, because it is, like you said, it's not a case in which there's one murder. There are a series of murders that have happened over several years. In fact, 10 happened before he went to jail, and even after he came out, after he served his sentence, 4 murders have happened. So a lot of information had to be collected, and most of these are cases in the past. So they had only one case, which was the latest case of Chittal Alvelama, who was 53 years. She was the last victim by the accused, who was killed by the accused. So keeping that as base, they had to undergo a lot of investigation. They had to find out what exactly was the modus operandi. He confessed to many of them. But apart from that, what's interesting is that he was convicted, sentenced, and released in several cases, and also acquitted in 11 murders, following which the cops have appealed again. So there are a lot of cases underway in which trial is still underway, some of them in which they have appealed. But altogether, around 17 murders, he has his name attached to all of them. He was named in 17 murders, if I can put it that way. So in case a man like this would stay out, you can imagine the kind of consequences it would have. How many more women would have fallen prey to his dangerous ways, if you can call it. So
I mean, why was he acquitted in those 11 murders? That's again another question, because you're saying that the police has appealed again. So there are a lot of questions arising out of this. Unfortunately, we'll have to leave it at that for now. Paul, thanks for joining us with your inputs on this big story.